A merciless war god he was, hesitant not to cut down even those he once considered friends. In a life seemingly never ending, the journey experienced and the memories created, from his loyal retainers to his closest partner. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to take a seat and experience life through the eyes of a god that learned to love because he lost far too much. Crowning an age of over 6 millennia, the Archon of Geo, Rex Lapis Morax, carries with him an abundance of tales and experiences from times long forgotten. Calm and composed, he now walks amongst his mortal subjects as he experiences a life he never had. Taking the vessel of Zhong Li, a consultant of the Wangshan funeral parlor, he is known as a handsome, elegant, and well-learned young man of unknown origins. Morax, however, was not always the Lord of Geo, as he obtained this status roughly over 2 millennia ago during the Great Archon War. Before that, he was simply the god of contracts and an adepti of Liyue. Alongside other adepti such as Cloud Retainer, Moon Carver, Mountain Shaper, Skybracer, Ganyu, and Altus that served him since before the Archon War ended, Morax was known as the Primal Adepti, as he took up the position of leader amongst all the Adepti of Liyue. In the days of yore, he was known as a war god that slaughtered many others in order to fulfill his contracts. Be it longtime enemies or friends turned enemy, he showed no mercy or compassion to anyone that stood in his way. Nowhere was the gentleness and compassion displayed by him today seen in his time as warmongering deity of slaughter. If it meant fulfilling his deals, nothing was beyond reason for this god of contracts that stood by his principles ever so strictly. Yet one day, a fateful encounter would be the start of a new beginning for this lone wolf. Amongst a field of glaze lilies, he met a young woman with billowing sleeves. What she lacked in strength, she more than made up for with her wisdom. Their meeting was one meant to be, as they complemented each other perfectly. And for the first time in his life, the god of contracts adhered to a duty, even with the absence of a contract to bind him. Known for her wisdom, kindness, and sympathy towards the humans, Guizong once stood alongside Morax and taught him to cherish more than just contracts. His compassion for humans is something he inherited from her throughout the period of time they spent together ruling over the Guili assembly in the Guili plains over 4 millennia ago. Unfortunately, amidst the Archon War, Guizong would meet her demise during a battle against invading forces, and the civilization built by the two of them would cease to exist. Their meeting was a blessing, as was their parting a curse. Those little people are as small and fragile as dust. Because they are so small, they know not when they will lose their lives to disaster or strife, and so they are afraid. Because they are afraid, they try so hard to become more intelligent. This I understand. So I thought that since there is such a gulf between us in strength, I should use technique and wisdom instead. With your brawn and my brains, this city would surely become a great one. Her final smile was a lonely one, even as her form dissolved into the finest dust. Her final moments spent amongst a field of glaze lilies, reminiscent of the time of their meeting. The final words of his dearest friend were a vital part of what made Morax the compassionate and humble god he is today. The people of the Guili assembly were scattered to the wilderness in the surrounding land. 3,700 years ago, Morax searched for and relocated the people who used to be a part of the Guili assembly to a harbor south of Mount Tianheng and created the Liyue harbor, where he passed on his wisdom to them and taught them how to build houses and stores. Due to the original nature of their dispositions, it is suspected that most of Zhongli's wisdom was passed on to him by Guizong throughout the time they spent together. Many interesting stories of events Morax had been through during his time as the Archon of Liyue can be seen scattered throughout the history of the city. One such tale of the Archon of Geo was when he gave life to a dragon after hearing the desperate plea of a spirit of the earth deep under the ground. Azhdaha, the lord of all bishops, was once but a mere spirit of the earth that was trapped beneath the surface. He wished desperately to see the world above, but was unable to. One day, as Morax was journeying throughout the lands, he heard the plea of the spirit and decided to grant upon him the body of a dragon, as well as eyes that would grant him the privilege of sight. The grateful spirit, now dragon, had been a close friend and ally of the Lord of Geo ever since. Morax had stated that though he bestowed Azhdaha the ability to live amongst the surface, were he to ever disrupt the natural peace of the lands, Morax would hesitate not to seal away the Lord of Bishops back underground. Azhdaha had no qualms regarding the terms of this contract, as he loved the surface world and its creatures. Yet fate would have different plans. His love for the surface, only to be outdone by his loyalty to Morax, may have been powerful, yet even the strongest of stones would one day be subject to erosion, and this mighty lord, made of Geo himself, was no exception. Over time, Azhdaha would forget the face of his friend and his love for the land. So, when he was brought harm upon by the humans that wished to mine ore where he slumbered, he struck out against the people of Liyue, thus breaking his contract with Morax. As such, with the aid of Mountain Shaper, Moon Carver, and another unknown adepti, Zhong Li set off to seal away the Lord of Bishops beneath the earth. The battle was not an easy one, and even required the remnant will of Azhdaha himself to assist the Lord of Geo in the process of sealing. In the end, Azhdaha was sealed away underground, never to be seen again. At least, not until the traveler would stumble upon him when on a mission alongside Zhong Li. The life of Zhong Li is a vast one, and any attempt to summarize his tales in one short video would be naught but a laughable notion. If you don't want to miss out when the next video is released, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, hit the like button and tell me guys what you think about the video in the comment section below. And until then, I'll see you guys later.